Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Dreamcast review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Capcom vs SNK Millenium Fight 2000 Pro, which, for those who don't know, the Pro version only came out in Japan, and it adds two characters that could be seen in the original version but not played as, which is Dan from the Street Fighter Capcom side and Joe from the SNK side, which I think he was in Fatal Fury. It might have been the Real Bout series or King of Fighters possibly. And while I've got quite a few Fatal Fury and King of Fighter games, I haven't played them in a long time and I'm struggling to remember where I know him from. So he's in one of those. All I know is he's an SNK fighter at this moment in time. Right. Because this only came out in Japan, it means that if you can't read Japanese, there's a few things you can't do, but not much, because the majority of it is in English. It's one of those, you won't get the story unless you can read Japanese, but personally I'm managing and I can't read Japanese. All I know is I'm able to play the game and do pretty much everything on it, of which there's quite a bit to do. You've got arcade mode, which is pretty much the bulk of the game, it in the versus mode. You've got memory card, which is just saving and loading. Options mode, which when you go into that, you can change a few options like button configs and things like that. You can change difficulty, you can change timer, damage, turbo. You can change your gauge, or however the hell you pronounce that. Change whether or not I have run and dashes and things like that. And it's just one of those things. It's got quite a pretty expansive options menu, to be fair, compared to a few other fighters that I've reviewed recently. Colour edit mode is quite simple. Colour edit mode, you get something like 8 different layers that you can change, so you can really change everything, including the creases in Ryu's pants. So, for example, him just as an example. Link mode is one that I don't actually know what it is because I can't read Japanese. I don't know if it's your Link VM, like you could in Marvel vs Capcom, or your Link Dreamcast or something. And then network mode was an online thing, but it's no longer online. Training mode is obviously simple, game replay as well. Pair match mode, I'm not too sure on myself, so I'm actually going to go into it. But it's just one of those, it's your standard fighting game really, but it does something different and I quite like it. It's, to be fair, this will be what pair match mode is then, the fact that you can only use fighters that are level 2. And it's something that I was going to actually explain playing the game, and I'll probably have to do another cut now to go to a different menu screen to be able to show that off, so that you too can understand why pair mode is just 2 characters. So, this is the arcade mode menu. So far it's looking the same. You can choose your groove between Capcom and SNK. I personally prefer Capcom fighters, so I'll choose that. And then you've got this. As I see it, it's blocks of 2. Well, it's because there's actually different ways to play it. You can have characters that are blocks of 3, so you could choose one of these and then a 1, or you could choose one of these and that takes up your whole bar, or you could choose 4 of these, and it's really cool like that because it means that there are some characters in a fighter this big, there's never going to be perfect balance, so this is a good way to balance it out, and I think it's excellent. If you choose a level 4 Akuma or Guki, then you really do only get him, and you can fight teams of 4 and teams of 3 and teams of 2, or you can fight another super boss, and it's really cool that they've done it like that. So instead, for variety, I'm just going to choose 4 level 1s, so that way I can at least show 4 different people. But I thought that was really cool, and then obviously you get to choose your character order, so it doesn't matter what order you actually choose them in. And it's then done in the way of, it's not a round system or anything, it's a lot like Marvel vs Capcom, where everyone on your team has to die for that round to then end, but you don't actually have to you don't have to do it for 2 rounds, if you know what I mean. So you don't have to kill a team of 4 twice to win the thing, you just have to kill that team of 4. And every time you kill someone, then it moves on to and says it's another round. And you also keep the energy. You might get a little bit back, but you keep the energy mainly of what you had before. And it's almost done like in a survival way, because obviously survival modes are always like that too, where you keep the energy all the way through, but sometimes you gain a little back and that. And that's how it's done. It's an incredibly cool system. I've never played anything like it, and I've played a hell of a lot of fighters. So I suppose getting onto the actual gameplay, there's a ranking system, which is what that is at the bottom middle of the screen next to the super bars, and basically depending on how well you do depends on your rank, and it doesn't really do much at all. It might have done it in the original version, but in this version everything's unlocked for you. because it's a new version and they didn't want people to have to go through unlocking everything again, I'd imagine. Hell, I might have been wrong anyway, because I've never played the original version. Maybe everything was unlocked for you there too. But it's just one of those things. The ranking system doesn't really mean much, it just means how well you're doing, so I suppose it's a good indication if you're doing better with certain characters than others. Anyway, before I absolutely outright kill him, I'm going to let him kill me, because first up it meant that I could show a super move off, because he was doing one there, and I haven't got a clue how to do blankers. It's the first time I've played as him on this, because I mainly do stick to the fours. I'd rather have one character that's super powerful than a team of weaklings, but obviously everyone's different and it depends on how you play it. But yeah, there's not really much else I can actually say about the game. I mean, graphically, I think it looks really good. Musically, I think it sounds great. So I'm going to shut up and let you listen to a little bit while I, well, go through, and I'll probably choose another couple of characters too. So that was a little bit of the music, and I've swapped over to Akuma, or whatever you want to call them. Obviously, I think the only reason he's not called Akuma on this is because it means devil or something in Japanese. I know it's nothing like the original name changes, so for example Balrog, Bison and Vega, who were changed purely because of licensing issues, and Mike Tyson or something. This, I think it's just something because they wanted to call them it in the Western version, and then they realised it actually means something else and thought, well, it might offend people. That could be totally wrong. It could be something that someone completely bullcrapped us with, you know. But all I know is I prefer calling him Akuma. He is easily my favourite character in the Street Fighter series and everything. I absolutely love playing as him. And it's just one of those, as I say, it depends on what fighters you play. I'm more of a Capcom fighter than an SNK fighter, but I do think both are represented very well in this. I do really like how each of them play, and it's just a case of learning how to play it and learning which fighters and perfecting your team, as with all team fighters like this. There's nothing much else I can actually say, and other than wobbling on a bit more about how much I love the game, which should probably become apparent by now that it is one of my favourite fighters. I cannot believe I'd went so long without ever playing it, but the fact that it was Japan only is the reason why. So yeah, it's just one of those. If you've got a Dreamcast and the ability to play import games, it's well worth looking into. It's one of those, it might be better if you can read Japanese, but it doesn't hinder you at all. I've not had any problems whatsoever with it. It's just an awesome game, but I do also, as I've said a few times, recommend playing with a fight stick rather than the Dreamcast pad. I think it's so much easier to play with a fight stick than the pad. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.